Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures. Now today we're going to be disturbed by barking dogs. My mouth is kind of messed up because I've had 3 teeth removed. So we've got loads of things going against us. But I'm going to walk around this cottage settlement as they're known in Russia. This brand new private housing development. Have a look at some of the houses for sale and hopefully go and film inside some of them and find out some prices. Now we're about 5 miles from Vladimir on the way to Suzdal, and this is a very sought after area at the moment because they've just built a brand new highway between Vladimir and Suzdal, and so it's very quick to get back and forth, and obviously also to get to the housing developments along the way. So summer is just around the corner and loads of people are going to be starting to do lots more work on these cottage settlements. You can see the road has not been done yet. Everybody always asks me about this. Why does the road not get done? Typically, if one company is building the whole entire settlement, then that company will build the roads. People have also asked me, well, why are the roads so narrow? It's all about cost. People are looking for building houses and purchasing land in different areas, and if the company is going to build a huge wide road, then that's going to add to the cost, and so people are going to say, well, I prefer to have a narrow road and pay less money. In Russia it's very popular to build out of blocks like this and then perhaps just cement them over and put different kind of sidings on it. As you can see, these ones all being built by these breeze blocks essentially. Now in my latest video I mentioned that I'm happy to walk around some villages and some cottage settlements to show you some of the houses and some of the prices, and you overwhelmingly said yes, you want me to do that. So I'm walking around an area that I visited in a previous video about a week ago. It's an area called Sadovy, and Sadovy is gardening basically. So this is a settlement that is located, well, amongst an area where all the people that lived here used to work on the farm and the garden centre and growing vegetables and fruits. But now, since obviously the Soviet Union's ended over 30 years ago, we've got lots of private houses here too, and so it's actually kind of an interesting area. We've got the whole Soviet houses in the middle, and then surrounding it we've got lots of cottage settlements. This is a style of fence I'm going to put on my house. It's called a 3D fence. You can see through it, but you can't see through it. And that over there is probably going to be a banya. This is one of the most popular versions of a house at the moment because of the one floor. Makes sense, right? So this is actually a gated community, but of course it's in the early development stage, so I don't have to worry about, well, security guards or anything like that, because loads of people are going to be walking around here, people are going to be building, you know, there's going to be lots of people moving around on this plot, and so essentially this isn't what it's going to look like at the end, but right now obviously it's just, you know, half done. This one looks very nice. In fact, the few houses on this street are very nice, and we've got the same house next door as well. Very nice house, although this one is a bit close to the neighbours for my liking. Imagine you have a house like so big like that and it's right next door, you know. You want to look out your bedroom window and see your neighbour's window. It seems these ones have got together, they've got one gate, look, unless it's one family with 2 houses. And you can see that they've already done their area outside, it's all been tarmacked. And also look what they've got here. They've got themselves a little lake. Now this looks like a little man-made lake. Well, don't say a lake, but more like a pond, but they could keep this clean, couldn't they, and have a great area to go fishing and swimming. And here we are at one of the temporary entrances. I guess in the future they'll have a security guard here, but for now So this one, as you can see, people are already living in there. You can see because they've got the standard Russian high fence already up. It's a really stunning location, but you can hear the M7, the main road, in the background just a little bit. I'm sure the camera's probably picking up the sound, which would be a little bit annoying. You want to relax in the countryside and you've got that slight humming of the road. Here it is from the other side. I think this is my favourite one today. What do you think? Very modern. Hopefully I'm going to find a house to go inside and look at. The thing is with a development like this, where perhaps one company's selling all the plots and they're going to make it into a gated community, but each individual buyer is building the house that they want, the prices are lower initially when it's just a field essentially divided into plots. Then they go up a little bit more as people start building and they get to this stage. So if you're one of the first people to move here and you've built a house, yeah, you're going to live on a building site for a while, but it's going to be a lot cheaper than perhaps buying a plot now or buying a plot in a few years time when everything's almost ready, because at that point obviously there's more demand. People want to live in a new housing settlement. It's a nice house. I'm being attacked by a dog. Being attacked by a dog. Please, please leave me alone. What about this one? I like this one. Very nice and tidy. Oh, we've come to a dead end. We're at a dead end. How am I going to get out of here? Couldn't resist filming the larder. So not far from here there's a hill that the locals use to go skiing and sledging in summer, and it's called the Rabbit's Mountain. It's not really a mountain, it's just like a little hill, but you can go sledging there, you can go skiing there, and it's kind of like that out of town place to go skiing and sledging and sit in the cafe and have a nice glass of mulled wine and some shashlik. And so I really like the layout of this cottage settlement, because as you can see in the middle we've got a huge grass area. Whether that's going to get turned into a park or something, I don't know. You can see they still haven't done the roads here at all, and this settlement has been being built for a long time now. It's got to be a good 5 years, probably 10. And actually I was expecting better. I'll be honest, I was expecting a lot more. This place has signposts leading to it from literally everywhere, but yet there's nothing really amazing here to shout about at all. In fact, I wouldn't even consider this a settlement. There's about 15 houses, no infrastructure at all. Bit disappointed. And so this settlement is in various stages of development. Some of the parts have got brand new roads and everything is great, and some of them are still being developed. I like this house here. What do you think? Very clean design, and look, opposite we've got a nice little park with some benches in. I don't know if that park was made by the owners of the house here or whether the actual people that built the cottage development made it. I'm guessing the owners of the house probably did it. As you can see, it's very peaceful here, surrounded by farmland. Oh, and look, have we got a dead end? It looks like we've got a dead end. And so now I understand why the road's been done. So the owners of these houses here have got together and said, look, let's make a nice little park for ourselves and make a nice road so that at least we live in a nice area, right? Interesting. This kind of thing happens quite a lot, to be fair. And so you can see this is where the road ends. The house ends, and so does the road. Right, so up ahead we've got a gated community which is still in the process of being built, and all one company has built the entire place, so the houses are going to be pretty similar. Obviously eventually the road will be done, all the infrastructure will be done. Let's take a walk around, see what we can find. I'm gonna have to try and find someone to try and find out the prices. On here, look, you can see the plot has been marked out with the tape, so you can see we've got a few different styles. You can see a guy working over here, and he's created this little pathway to get there. I'm going to see if I can go over there, and if it'll let me see inside the house. Let's have a look. I love this little pathway they've made, look. That's pretty cool. I bet it was a lifesaver in the winter when it was all boggy. So the person doing the work inside the house told me that the house, this one initially was bought for 6 million. He said it's now worth about probably 8 million. He wouldn't let me film inside. He allowed me to go inside, but he wouldn't let me film inside because he's doing the work inside for the owners who have already bought the house, and he needed to get their permission basically. But this entire area, this whole settlement, is being built by the company that is actually building my house. Right, they're called Eka Life, and they've built a few settlements, and I recognised the actual houses. As soon as I saw them, I thought they look like Eka Life. The good thing about Eka Life is they build these small little communities. The houses aren't very expensive, although I'm guessing something like this is going to be about 12 million. When I get back to my house, I'll have a look and I'll put a plan of the whole settlement onto this video and show the prices. In regions like Vladimir, small towns, right, these small settlements are the most popular ones to do, because the companies that are building them, they're not, you know, massive like billion dollar companies. They're companies that have got enough money to purchase a piece of land, to divide it up into 50 plots, build houses on it and then sell it, rather than, you know, build a massive community with 5,000 houses. They simply can't afford to build that amount of houses and infrastructure in one go, because people might not buy it and then they're stuck. Whereas with these small settlements, eventually there might be a shop. The chances are there probably won't be. There'll just be straight roads, there'll be a children's play area, there'll be a little garden, everywhere will be fenced off, and perhaps a barrier that you push a remote to open every now and again when you need to get in and out. The only minus I would say with this one is you can hear the road, right? The one thing I like about this settlement is most of the houses, they're in the process of being built, right? So at least you can see in the near future, probably in a year or two, this settlement will be finished. I'd say one of the biggest problems when purchasing a house or purchasing a plot of land to build a house is what's going to happen with the settlement. When is the road going to get done? If it's built by one company, when will that company build the road? If it's going to be built by the government, when is the government going to build the road? It all depends on the completion of the settlement. And as we've seen already, we've been to this one settlement, Zaytche Gora. Now that settlement has been being built for ages, and I spoke to one of the neighbours there, and the neighbour said, yeah, look, the 5 houses that made their road, they got together and they just built the road themselves. But nobody, or not enough people, have purchased the land on this settlement to build houses because the land's really expensive, and so the company just didn't build the road. Now whether the company go on to build the road if people do buy all the land and do build the houses, well, maybe, but it's been over 10 years and the road hasn't been built yet. The chances are the company doesn't even exist anymore. There's no gate to access the community, nothing like that. It's just kind of like a hole where the wall stops and the community starts. And so this is one of the crucial things you need to be aware of. And a lot of people ask, you know, why do Russians have fences? Well, because they can only control inside of the fence. The road might never get done. It might have been done once and then left, and by the time you purchase the house, it's in pieces, right? Literally. This is my favorite, probably. And this is probably the best plot on the entire settlement. The furthest away from the road. Don't know if this is going to be a house or what. It's not very big. Potentially it looks more like it's going to be a banya. Perhaps the owners have decided to build this first. They're going to perhaps live in this for a while their house is being built, and then afterwards it will become a banya. What can you expect the housing estate to look like when it's finished? Well, like this. This is my friend's road. So here's one that's still waiting for the road. As you guys call them in the US, the old cookie cutter homes. What do you think? Do you like to live on a house, on a road, sorry, where all the houses look like this? You can see that people are starting to make the houses look like a home. This is really nice. Just feels very homely with the flowers and everything kind of. You can see that people are living there. The main consideration that you're going to have when purchasing a house or a plot of land is going to be obviously the price, the distance to the amenities that you need, but then it's going to be the infrastructure. And so there's two ways you can go about it. If one company is building the entire settlement, you're going to sign a contract with them to say that they're going to do the road, they're going to do the sewage, the electricity and the gas and the water. They're going to do it all, right? And then once a settlement is built, you're going to live in somewhere that at least resembles normality. If you purchase a plot of land and you're just purchasing the plot of land from a private seller and you're building on it, then you have no guarantees as to when the road will actually get built. You'll be in charge yourself of going to the gas company, getting your gas connected. If the gas is a long way away, you'll have to wait for the gas to arrive. Getting your electricity connected, you're going to go to the electricity company. You're going to do your own sewage, and then perhaps probably you're going to get together with your neighbours and you're going to say, look, let's just do the road ourselves, because the chances are that it's not going to get done for years in advance. And then the next problem you have is when you're choosing the area that you're going to build in, has that area already been built in? Are you the last house to move there? Are you the last person to buy the plot of land and start building? If you are, that's great, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive. If you're the first, the chances are you could be living on a building site, and that depends entirely on how quick the other plots get purchased and built on. So essentially you could be living on a building site for, well, forever. So this is a private area where the owners have purchased their own plots of land and built the houses that they want to build. And it's been built at the same time as the gated settlement we just looked at a minute ago. So you can see that almost everybody has built their houses, is living in their houses, apart from one or two like this one here. But the road is nowhere near done, and it might not ever get done unless all the neighbours get together and raise some money to build the road. It's a bit windy up here, but the houses are amazing. And so you can see behind me that they've created a little park area, and the lady said they've got together with the street to all chip in and create that for the kids to have somewhere safe to play. Now, because of the types of houses on this road, it would suggest that the road will probably get done either between the neighbours, chipping in a bit, or having some sort of persuasion towards the local council creating the road and finishing the settlement. However, because we've got these empty plots behind us, the chances are the road's not going to get done until the plots have been purchased and built on, because the neighbours are going to think, well, what's the point in us tarmacking the road, and then you're going to have some heavy trucks come down, lay foundations down, bringing the bricks and everything you need to build, and ruining it, because obviously in winter the asphalt is going to expand and then it's going to shrink and it's going to crack when you've got heavy duty, you know, commercial vehicles running up and down it. And so unfortunately for these people, it's looking likely they're going to have to wait a while. Let me know in the comments, are you interested in houses like the ones I've shown today, basically essentially the new builds, right? Or are you interested in kind of old village houses? I'm happy to walk around, show any houses at all. I'm happy to go and find out prices and try and get my way inside the houses so you can have a look. That's no problem for me to do at all. In fact, I quite enjoy speaking to people, so yeah, that's really my thing. But also let me know what kind of budget you have if you're thinking of coming to Russia, because I think a lot of people think that Russian houses are incredibly cheap, and well, they might be if you're purchasing in the middle of nowhere, but if you're purchasing somewhere near to a town in the European part of Russia, the chances are the houses might not be as cheap as you think they are. It'll also help me to kind of gauge the income bracket of those who are thinking of moving to Russia, because I want to cater my content, obviously not just for you guys that are thinking of moving to Russia, but if I'm creating content for you guys, then I don't want to be filming like $1 million homes if you're looking for $20,000 homes, or vice versa. Another problem is, of course, building materials. You can see that this house is complete, there's people living in it, but just why? I guess they can't be bothered to maybe do the outside of the house yet. Perhaps they haven't got enough money yet to kind of look after this area here, and so for the moment it's just got construction materials sort of laid on it, and just, yeah. Oh, we've got loads of dogs all coming to meet me. Look at this one as well. And so it really is a process. I like this one with the big window as you're going up the stairs, probably. So this is probably the best advice that I can give you. If you're thinking of purchasing a plot of land and building on it, or purchasing a house, then purchase in a place that you're already happy with the road and with the infrastructure. Because yes, the infrastructure might get done by the government afterwards. It might get done by you guys all grouping together and paying for the roads to get done. It might get done by the private corporation that's building everything, but it might not. So if things get improved, if a road does get put down, if the infrastructure is done afterwards, that's a bonus. Just make sure you buy somewhere where you're already happy, where you're not going to be waiting for things to hopefully change, because that's a horrible state to be in. So if you require a road that's tarmacked and straight already, find a plot of land or a house that's on a road it's been tarmacked and straight already. Russia is developing at a huge speed, and it's impossible to get all the roads tarmacked and looking great. That's my advice.